astronauts, this is Brandy and welcome back to Astro-Tarot Research, or welcome if it is your first time. Just want to let you know that if it is your first time, I post a reading weekly and I also go live weekly. That time is posted on the community tab by Tuesday night Eastern Standard Time. So check that out if you want to ask me a question. If you like this reading, I'm sure you'll love the live session as well. So this week's reading is what love manifestation is on the way fast. Some of you astronauts have been saying how you wanted some love readings. So here is a love reading for you. We have 5 pals to choose from as always. And before we get started, you know what I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask you to like, comment, and subscribe as always. Yes, I have to promote myself. It's just part of the content creator, I don't know, manifesto, I don't know what word I'm looking for there. But let's get into these pals. We have pal number 1, pal number 2, pal number 3, pal number 4, and pal number 5. So let's not waste any more time and just sit back, relax, and choose. Hey pal, number 1, let's find out what love manifestation is on its way fast to you. We have the 5 of Pentacles, the King of Cups, the Page of Cups, the 8 of Pentacles, and we have the 9 of Swords. Interesting. So what I see here is perhaps quite a few disappointing experiences, to say the least, when it comes to your area of love life. Perhaps for some of you, it has felt like it's been this desert wasteland with no opportunities, and sorry for any noise in the background, with no opportunities for connection or true love, or it's been maybe sort of like a struggle love here, especially with the 5 of Pentacles, because they're technically not alone on the deck. It's just that the circumstances surrounding this type of connection are not ideal, right? So you haven't felt like, or at least the cards might imply, that you may not have felt like you have been able to experience the full bounty and security that love can bring sometimes, okay? And possibly you may have been in some relationships where you didn't quite feel safe. Like you didn't feel the sense of warmth or feeling like this is something that you know you can build with. Like this is someone that you have a future with, because the 5 of Pentacles is a very unstable card. It's a card that's like, I don't know where this is going to end up. I don't know which direction we're going to go in. I don't know if this is a true connection. And this is if you've had these relationship experiences in the past. I know some people who have been single for pretty much most of their lives, and the 5 of Pentacles would just reinforce that type of not being on the inside of love and not having the opportunities presented to you. So the love manifestations that are on their way have to do with building a different type of connection. It's one that is going to be emotionally bountiful, and it's going to allow you to feel a sense of happiness and joy, because we have this Page of Cups feel, which can get swept up in the fantasies when it comes to love, and it brings about the phrase puppy love to me whenever I think of the Page of Cups, almost like this teenage love affair in a way, because it doesn't really have a sense of let's, you know, actually think about the future in terms of like planning and things along the lines of that. It's just like, let's get caught up in the moment. Let's actually just feel each other's essence, and we'll see where it goes from there. That's very Page of Cups. They may think about like, oh, picture in their mind like this beautiful home together and, you know, picking out baby names, but, you know, it's not really like serious planning. But it is exciting, and it is fun, and it is beautiful. And I really do see that's more than likely going to be coming for you. That is like the next love manifestation. We do also have the King of Cups, which lets me know that you have this abundance of love to give. You are someone who has a lot of emotional depth, and you're highly intuitive. And I think this is a good thing when it comes to understanding and listening to your intuition and letting it guide you towards what you want within a relationship. The Page of Cups does represent an opportunity to get to know someone. Now, when it comes to, like I said, having this strong, serious foundation towards something that is going to be strong commitment, the King of Cups shows you're ready for that, but the Page of Cups shows the opportunity is potentially there for that, but will it manifest in that direction? We don't know, okay? The cards are not always all-knowing, right? But they're saying that there is an opportunity coming in which you can build that connection. Page of Cups can represent a new crush, a new date, somebody who you're, going out with and assessing, especially when we have this Eight of Pentacles there. Because the Eight of Pentacles always takes this very analytical approach to love and connection, similar to the Seven of Pentacles. But now the Eight of Pentacles is concentrating on maybe like one or two things. They're looking at their sort of past behavior. And you see all these pentacles represent all of the finished work. And they're learning from it, and they're growing from it, and they're refining it. And the same thing can be applied to dating, love, and romance. You're looking at all the ways that you may have built connection before, or maybe even the, outlets in which you've chosen to build connections, whether that is in person, online, through friends, meetups, whatever the case may be. The Eight of Pentacles is like, I'm going to analyze the avenues, and then I'm going to also analyze the circumstances, and I'm going to look at my behavior, and I'm going to look at their behavior, and I'm going to see how I can change and transform things so that my situations will turn out to something that I would like. Now, technically, this Nine of Swords should be reversed because it came after the Eight of Pentacles, and Swords and Pentacles, they take on a different meaning when they connect with each other because they don't quite mesh as well together. And so because you're taking this route to be very particular about the person that you're investing your time in, this person who is coming along, this new love connection that is coming your way, it's more than likely going to help you ease some anxieties because it gives you a sense of control. It gives you a sense of accountability, and it also helps you to it strengthens your ability to communicate your desires, communicate your needs, and you feel a more solid foundation when it comes to who you are. It's like you're more secure within yourself. No more Five of Pentacles. You feel like, hey, I know myself pretty well because I've been analyzing, I've been thinking things through, I've been talking things out, I've been expressing my frustrations. Because the Nine of Swords can represent, instead of keeping all of these intrusive thoughts and negative thinking patterns and stuff in my head, keeping me up at night, etc., I'm talking to people about these things. I'm letting them know what my thoughts are, and because I'm having these conversations, it's helping me to ease the burden of carrying all of these worries myself. It's kind of like going through therapy when you have this Nine of Swords. When we have the Nine of Swords reverse, it's like taking on self-soothing techniques like meditation or journaling or something like that with the Nine of Swords. It's not like the thoughts go away. It's more so, hey, how can I learn to manage these things? Perhaps I get some sort of medication from my doctor. Not that I'm giving any suggestions on what you should do. Perhaps I decide I want to go on a retreat. Perhaps I want to just listen to music. I want to take a walk. I want to learn to better manage these feelings that I have, these worries concerning my love life and love. And it's interesting because if some of you are in a relationship, then this can represent feeling a little bit neglected by your partner. The full spread I'm talking about right now can represent feeling a little bit neglected by your partner. And it's almost like you need something more. You need a different expression of love. You need them to reach out to you in a different manner or a different way, or to connect with you in a different way. And I feel like for those of you like in the relationship, that is coming. And it's coming through an opportunity to be open and be vulnerable. And if you're with this partner, the Page of Cups is like this slowly open up, extending an olive branch to say, hey, like, I've noticed you've been feeling a certain way. Is there anything I can do to help or support? They don't quite know what to do, but they may ask you questions, or they may, like I said, reach out in some way to show that they are willing to engage. And the Eight of Pentacles would represent refining that relationship and redefining it in a way so that it's clear what each other's needs are and what can help you to feel like you are coming together in a way that is strong and feels like you're being supported and you're both getting those desires and needs met. Because we have to keep in mind the Eight of Pentacles is somebody who has support versus the Five of Pentacles. There's no support there. And so there does seem to be a transformation occurring if you're within a relationship where you have support. And for those of you who are single, this can represent the same thing, where you may have had partners or dating people you've dated in the past who didn't feel like they were fully engaged within your life, who didn't feel like they really intrinsically knew you. But now it's like you have someone who's invested in you. You have someone who is curious about you and wants to be able to provide that sense of, you know, maybe even financial support, but definitely emotional support is there. They want to extend kindness, and they want to have a more reciprocal relationship when it comes to the emotional investment, especially with the King of Cups there. At least that's what your desire is. And the Page of Cups represents that opportunity for that to happen, to say, hey, you know, I noticed something is wrong, or hey, let's try something different, or, you know, let's have this new conversation. It could be a very enlightening conversation, something that important that you two need to discuss together, and things on the lines of that. And if you're single, then this is having different types of conversations with people. Maybe you're used to going on dates and you talk about more superficial and shallow things. Well, the Page of Cups wants to talk about things that are emotionally connected to them in some way. It's not just what's your favorite color. It's like, you know, tell me about your favorite childhood movie, and that will connect to your spirit in some way. And it definitely tells a lot about someone, you know, the content that they've resonated with, the games they liked to play, their hobbies, their interests. It gives you more emotional value or understanding of a person. And I feel like those are conversations that are going to be happening for this pile. New opportunities to connect, in which you can truly expose more of yourself and who you are. You get to show more of this King of Cups side, okay? It's less about dating from a place of feeling like, well, this is the best I can do, to more so, I think I can genuinely build a connection with this person. Or less about like, hey, like I'm stuck in a place where it is a wasteland. I'm getting no opportunities. There's nobody around me that I'm interested in, to like, oh, this seems like an interesting person that I want to connect with. And it makes you feel a little bit more optimistic about the future. And it makes you sort of look at how you've been thinking about things and gives you a different perspective, I should say. On the card, we have Mars and Gemini, which, let me tell you, that is very much an anxiety-prone placement for sure. Worst case scenario type of thinking. That is because Mars is a malefic, and if you think about the sign of Gemini, is connected to the third house naturally. And the third house rules your mind. And having a malefic sort of planet in the area that represents your mind means the mind is sort of compromised by a lot of trauma. Mars is a very traumatic planet. And so now this is like I'm addressing those instances. I'm actually fully taking them in and letting them, you know, move through me. Instead of just being overwhelmed by them, I'm allowing myself to feel those emotions and say, okay, that's over, or that may not happen, and maybe something good can happen instead, or I'm in a safe place now. And that's what's going to be occurring for you, pile number one. A beautiful opportunity to move forward and to pacify your mind and your thinking. So that is what I have for you, and hopefully this resonates. But if not, feel free to choose a new pile or a new reader. Either way, I'm very happy you stopped by, and I cannot wait to see you for the next reading. I go live every week on the weekends. Times posted on the community tab, and also I post every Thursday. That's right, every Thursday you can catch a new reading from me. And that is all I have for you, and I hope to see you again. Au revoir. Hey pal, number two, let's find out what love manifestation is on the way fast. We have the Star, the Ten of Wands, the Eight of Swords, the Emperor, and I don't know why this card won't flip over. The Two of Cups. Okay. So what's interesting here is a lot of these cards relate to sort of independence and singledom, all right? It's showcasing two cards, which is the Star and the Ten of Wands. And both of those cards relate to carrying burdens. The Star card, connected to Aquarius, the water bearer, is about essentially taking on the suffering of humanity and essentially making sacrifices for your fellow man. And the Ten of Wands is obviously generally your own responsibilities. Doesn't necessarily have to be something you're always passionate about, but it's heavy, it's a lot, and you have to travel that road alone and carry those burdens. So what this is showing me when it comes to how you've been approaching things, or even just how life has been lately, is that you've been feeling maybe a little bit overwhelmed by the area of love, or your love life in general, because to me it shows that you have gone the distance, okay? You've probably tried everything to make connections, everything meaning like maybe you've gone to singles events, maybe you've tried speed dating, maybe you've tried online dating, maybe you've tried being set up through a friend, maybe you've tried like taking interest in hobbies and to meet more people, whatever the case may be. But this represents sort of like going above and beyond to find that special someone. And so when we're talking about things that you're manifesting and things that you're manifesting fast, okay, I'll be honest, because, you know, I don't want you guys to come after me. I don't actually think this is that fast, to be completely honest. All of this work and all of these efforts that you have put in towards love, finding love, connections, relationships, it has just felt so draining. And because it has felt so draining and so disheartening, and things haven't been they haven't been all that exciting, and probably pretty disappointing and stressful and frustrating, right? Especially with that Ten of Wands there. And it's felt so distant because you've had all of these, I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say bad, because everything's kind of like a lesson in a way, but because you've had so many lessons to learn in regards to your love life, what it's showing is that it's kind of made you more closed off to it. It's made you less likely to want to have to seek a connection. Maybe you feel a little bit more shy, not wanting to put yourself out there, not wanting to make any decisions that may leave you feeling embarrassed or awkward, or feeling like you aren't being accepted and you don't want to be rejected, or you don't want to have to go through all of these burden carrying mess over here. The Star card does show that you're hopeful. You know, there is some part of you that is obviously wanting connection and feeling like that it is in the realm of possibility, which makes sense because why else would you pick on this reading? And it shows that you have a lot to offer because the Star card is brilliant, it's bright, it's rare, it's unique. And the Ten of Wands is definitely an individual who can handle a lot and has gone through a lot. But all of this effort, all of this time, all of this pondering, all of this yearning, it's left you feeling like there's nothing else you could do. You feel like you a little bit trapped. You feel like you're confused. You feel like you don't know the right way to meet someone. Maybe you've even heard like an overwhelming amount of advice. You know, everyone online is a dating expert, right? So maybe you've heard some of all of that narrative. Maybe you've even read books on love and connection, relationships, and it just feels a bit overwhelming. And the information is just like, okay, this is just too much. Like, what is the real answer here? What is the way to approach love? What is the way to build connection? What is the way to find my special someone? What you're manifesting when it comes to love is being confident enough to go your own way, number one. Not listening to all of these overwhelming opinions and advice on how a relationship would be. The Emperor makes their own choices. Don't get me wrong, they may have some advice and counsel that they listen to, but ultimately they're trusting their own sound mind and logic. And I'm saying sound mind and logic, not intuition. They go off of their own experiences and they do what is unique and what is the right choice for them. Okay, they're no longer listening to any other voices. Like I said, maybe one or two individuals, but for the most part, people who have shown that they have provided clear guidance and advice and something that makes sense. They got to show their credentials for the Emperor. And number two, or maybe three, you're taking the initiative to put yourself out there more. The Eight of Wands, like I said, you probably felt a little bit stuck and confused and maybe even feeling like it's not worth the rejection. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth me moving forward. It's too confusing. I'll just be rejected. I won't get what I want. Or like, I'm not going to get that connection. It's so far away. It's so distant. Things on the lines of that. The Eight of Swords can have like a lot of like negative thinking patterns to it. So you may have even been in that dilemma or in that area. And you're also manifesting courage. So courage, self-esteem, decisiveness, going your own path, and putting yourself out there again. And what's interesting about the Emperor is, yes, people will definitely come to the Emperor in terms of opportunities and wanting, you know, having some romantic interest. But at the same time, the Emperor goes to others. So what you're manifesting is actually being more brave when it comes to love. You are putting yourself out there more. You may even be taking the lead in some romantic relationships. You know, I'm just going to put it out there. I don't care if you're a man or a woman watching this. You're likely at some point going to be the one to maybe even ask someone out, or like, let's say you have an online dating profile. You might be the one to like them first or send a message first or something like that. You're probably going to, if you see someone, be bold enough to give them your number. So it doesn't have to be super forward. You can still put the ball in their court if you don't feel comfortable just outright asking someone out. But you're going to lean into that more. And because you're going to lean into that more, you're going to end up manifesting a connection, possibly even a strong and beautiful relationship, because the Two of Cups is a very beautiful card when it comes to love, harmony, connection, commitment, partnership. You know, it's a happy relationship. It's a happy union. It's very harmonious. It's very equal. It's very balanced. It's something that feels fulfilling, a strong connection. And so your forwardness, your momentum, and your ability to put yourself out there more, which I'm not saying that you haven't done a lot, because we already know you have. This 10 of Wands here, the Star here, you've gone the distance. You've maybe even traveled, you know what I mean? Like, you know, but you've done it all, okay? So, but the cards aren't saying like your efforts haven't been worth it, or they were the wrong thing to do, or wasn't the right path. It's just saying that this is part of the journey, and you have to keep putting yourself out there. And as you put yourself out there, as you're manifesting this bravery to move forward, it's going to lead to that relationship. It's going to lead to that unconditional love and support. You may not, I don't even know if you're looking for that. Personally, you might just even be looking just to have some sort of like short-term connection, but you're sort of manifesting something that's going to be a little bit more long-term and stable, even if you weren't even thinking about those things in that direction. And the only reason I would suggest you weren't thinking about that is because normally when we have the 10 of Wands and the 8 of Swords, they're a little bit more overwhelmed with everything they have going on in their personal lives and in their minds. And so they're not like thinking, oh, time to start a family. You know what I mean? They're not like thinking time to get married, time to find, you know, my husband or wife. You know, it's the cloudiness of it is like, that's far away. I just want to like meet someone and date. But actually, you're going to find that you're going to have something a little bit more stable and committed. This is Venus in Cancer here. And Cancer connects to family. It is connected to the 4th house. And something that I often see when you have transits to Cancer in the 4th house, or just, you know, the 4th house in general, is a lot of people will get married during that time period because it represents family. And what is a marriage? That is your family now once you're married. So what you're manifesting is potentially someone you may get married to. And this, I'm going to put may on there. You know, I'm not going to say everyone's going to manifest, you know, their husband or wife or whoever and or spouse in the next, you know, couple of 30 days or something like that. But I am saying that this person is coming in. And when I said earlier, I don't think it's like super fast. I mean it because it's like you actually do have a lot going on for you. And I think it would be very overwhelming if you were to meet this person like next week or something like that. I think a part of you would just feel a little bit like, oh my God, is this going to work out? Or does this person like me, etc.? Like you still are kind of a little bit in that mind frame where you're questioning either yourself and maybe even your worth, or you're questioning whether the situation would even be viable. Like you may not even see that as possible yet, but pretty soon, and I'm going to say maybe, you know, in the next few months, that mindset's going to slowly change and progress and develop, and you are putting yourself out there day by day, week by week, month by month, and it's going to give you that long-term, loyal, commitment, healthy, balanced relationship. And it's going to be a very beautiful relationship. There's a lot of love here. There's a lot of emotional fulfillment, especially with this Venus in Cancer on the card. There is a sense of feeling like you two just flow together naturally. It doesn't feel hard. When I get the Two of Cups, it's not like an awkward coming together. It's not like an enemies to lovers. It's not super fast and whirlwind romance. It's more so just a normal, we meet, we sort of click, we date, and then we come together. And it's very smooth. The process is very smooth. That is what I like about it. It's very effortless. And it's going to feel like you can open up and be vulnerable with this person, and this person is going to be able to be vulnerable with you. But that is what I have for you, pal number 2. That is actually something amazing that's coming in for you. And I'm sorry for everything that you have gone through in the whirlwind or the story of love within your life, because it does seem to be quite a lot, like a very a long story, right? I feel like you could probably write an epigy. What is that the word I'm using? Am I using that right? You know what? We're going to leave it. We're going to leave it at that. I feel like you can write an epic tale on your love life. My brain is just fried right now. So what is the word I'm going for? You know what? I'm going to leave it. Thank you for watching pal number 2. And I hope to see you next time. If this pal doesn't resonate, feel free to choose a new pal or a new reader. Either way, I'm very happy you stopped by. And don't forget, if you want to ask me a question, I go live every weekend. That's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And I post readings every Thursday. So if you like my reading style, just come back every Thursday. There's a new video for you. And I will see you next time. Au revoir. Hey pal number 3. Let's find out what love manifestation is on the way fast. Ooh, 9 of Cups, the Tower, the Wheel of Fortune, the World. Wow, this is a dream come true. And Judgment, something that you've always wanted is coming into fruition. So 9 of Cups is definitely this beautiful, magical, dream come true card that represents getting something that you just feel like you've always desired, or heck, maybe even you just recently desired. It really doesn't matter. But I always say, I started with always desire because we have the World card at the end here. And usually that represents an accumulation point. So something that's been this long journey. The World card is the last card, right? In the Fool's journey through the tarot. So this feels like a moment that is honestly just a dream come true fairy tale in a way. I know that Tower card can be scary, but sometimes the Tower just means like, you know, expect the unexpected. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes you have good surprises in life or good things that are unexpected. And especially since it's next to the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups here is letting me know that this is an unexpected surprise. So whether that be just like a change in the type of people that you are dating, a transformation in your relationship, or maybe you've been stuck in a certain cycle for quite some time, meaning you date people who are not right for you, you end up in relationships that don't meet your needs, you find yourself feeling like you're not getting the connections that you want. Well, that cycle is coming to an end for a lot of you. And honestly, to me, it feels like a change is 100% on the way, especially since we have this World card, we have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Tower, we have Judgment. All of these things represent leaving unstable structures behind. So if you've had these sort of disappointing interactions and things when it comes to love, now it's time that you may find yourself meeting someone new. You may even find yourself ending a relationship. Just going to throw it out there, you know, don't beat the messenger. You may find yourself finding someone who you truly feel deeply connected with, because we have this sort of like Judgment Pluto card energy. It's like you're being reawakened to new circumstances and new events and things that can bring you more happiness and fulfillment. Judgment card relates to obviously leaving the past behind, obviously like rising from the ashes out of the phoenix and transforming. But it also relates to these big emotions. And these big emotions being things along the lines of extreme happiness, elation, as well as, you know, deep sadness and trauma and things along the lines of that. But since this reading is so positive, to me it feels like you're on your way when it comes to love, to just experiencing the full bountiness that love has to offer. To me, it shows that you'll be experiencing a incredibly beautiful connection, one that is maybe once in a lifetime. It's likely that you are going to even change who you are, because through all of these transformative cards, and this is a reading surrounding what you're manifesting, in a way you're changing yourself as well. The Tower card can represent a change in perspective or a change in your desires. It's like you're manifesting a new point of view and understanding yourself on a deeper level and what you truly need in order to have happiness and success within relationships. And so you're changing yourself. And by changing yourself, I think for some of you, this is for some of you, you're attracting who you desire. For some of you, you may not be changing yourself. You may just be attracting what you desire. But I think that is going to be at least 50-50 on that. But I feel like, just looking at the cards, the main message is that the cycle is complete. Whatever this cycle is, it's over with. So if this has been a lot of disappointing things, because if we look at the Nine of Cups, before the Nine of Cups, we have the Eight of Cups, which is you moving away from circumstances and things that just don't suit you anymore, similar to the Tower and similar to the World card and the Wheel of Fortune. It's all about just leaving. There's all this energy about leaving the past behind. I don't know what went on in the past, but the Eight of Cups and all of these cards, because sometimes I like to think about why we got the Nine of Cups instead of the Eight or the Six or the Seven. Why are we at this Nine of Cups point? So that would let me know that you may have came from a place from the Eight of Cups, right? Moving on, moving forward, and saying, none of this works for me. And where I was going with this is, when we have all these cards about leaving the past behind, to me, it shows that you're stepping into a new stage in your love life, one that is going to bring you beauty, one is going to bring you satisfaction, one is going to bring you joy, one is that's going to take you by surprise. It's going to be an adventure, it's going to be a ride, but it's going to be something that you feel is satisfactory. It's going to be something that you feel like, oh, I found my person. For some of you. Some of you, it may be like, oh, I found myself. And in finding myself, I recognize that I have everything I need. I may not even desire a partner as much as I wanted. That's just maybe for a small percentage of you, because there's nothing wrong with human connection. I think most of us desire some sort of romantic connection. But for some of you, a smaller percentage may feel like, I'm satisfied within myself and I'm not going to put so much pressure on finding a connection, which these cards can represent, especially with the World card here. But overall, to me, it just shows a lot of huge surprises and transformations, and literally, I don't know how else to say it. It's like this shocking force, but it's like a good shock is coming your way. You know, if you've had certain experiences when it comes to your love life, or you felt like you were out of the loop in certain things, like you can see on Instagram, they're like, oh, we did a little vacation, we did a travel date, my man bought me like I don't know, what's the popular thing? Louis Vuitton or Versace. I'm just naming regular brands, popular ones. Laura Piano, or is it Piano? Sorry. But like, it's just like, it doesn't have to be those type of luxury experiences, but it can be something that you find very surprising and very satisfactory, okay? I know some people who have struggled and haven't even really been on a proper date before. And this would represent saying, my standards are a little bit higher now, and I'm finally meeting people who are serious about relationships and going on dates and actually really connecting. I mean, these things matter to a lot of people, and everyone has their own different sort of value system, but this card represents being able to experience magnificent things, and a heavy emphasis on magnificent, because we have Pluto and Saturn in the same reading. And when those two cards come together, those two powerful cards, you know, they can represent stress, but I don't think you're manifesting stress. But when they come together in a positive light, it is so bountiful and transformative. It's like you can get things flowing. You can get things moving in the way that you would like to. It just feels like there's so much power within you to reach your desires when it comes to love and connection and joy. And maybe for some of you in a relationship, this can represent, you know, actually establishing a long-term commitment. But I usually get different cards for marriage. But that's just, it's going to be different for everyone. But the cards do emphasize long-term commitment, feeling stable, especially after you get rid of all of this other stuff, and coming to the point where you feel secure within a relationship. You feel like you found your person. You feel like you found your other half. You're complete. You know, the World card is like the you complete me card type of energy. And I really do see that for you, pal number 3. You have a lot of beautiful things coming for you. A lot of lucky moments. A lot of happy moments. A lot of exciting moments. That's not to say that there won't be ups and downs and things along the lines of that, but ultimately it just feels like you're in a new space or a new pace when it comes to your love life. And that, I'm going to leave you with that, okay? Because it's going to be different for everyone. But the overall feel is a lot more joy and satisfaction. But that is what I have for you, pal number 3, and hopefully this resonates. If not, feel free to choose a new pal or new reader. Either way, I'm happy you stopped by. Just letting you know that I do post a video every Thursday. And also, if you want to ask me a question, join the live sessions. I go live on the weekends. That's either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And you can check out the time on the community tab. And I will see you next time. Au revoir. Hey, pal. Number 4. Let's get started on what love manifestation is on its way to you fast. We have the Hierophant. We have the 9 of Wands. We have the Empress. We have the High Priestess. Wasn't expecting that one. And then we have the 8 of Swords. I love how we have 2 cards that are connected to Venus, the Hierophant and the Empress. So the Hierophant is connected to Taurus, ruled by Venus, and obviously the Empress is the Empress. She's got the little Venus thing there. So to me, I love when we have love in the love spreads, if that makes sense to you. But essentially what I'm getting from this is that you are manifesting possibly long-term commitment. I'm not really sure if you're in a relationship or not in a relationship. The cards are a little bit, they're giving me 2 different messages. For those of you in a relationship, this is like, I'm fighting to be committed to my partner, to build something stable and lasting that I can cherish, fight for, care for, and, you know, essentially just defend with all my might and make sure that we go the distance together. And with the Empress there, it's like I'm fighting for this happiness and things along the lines of that. But for those of you who are single, it's almost like you are fighting through this jungle of people or maybe failed encounters or challenging encounters that just felt like they weren't on the same page as you. And it's a little bit like now you are following your intuition. Because when I get the Nine of Wands, I get a lot of people sort of entering their opinions, possibly giving like dating advice on what you should do, what you shouldn't do, how you should move within partnerships and relationships and dating and things along the lines of that. And the Nine of Wands is kind of like I'm defending my castle. I'm defending my way of doing things. I'm defending, you know, who I am as a person and what I truly desire within my heart. And you are relying on your own thoughts, your own feelings to guide you through this process. And the Eight of Swords here on the end is very interesting, because to me it's like maybe you're manifesting sort of like coming out of your shell a little bit. And when we have this manifestation, it's like possibly you're trying to figure out the best way to communicate with those you might be interested in. Maybe you want to flirt a little bit more, or at least give a little bit more of a hint that you're interested in. I only say maybe give a hint because these cards aren't extremely like forward and direct. Like if we got the Emperor instead of the Empress, then I would think, oh, you're trying to make the moves. But this is like I'm trying to manifest someone to move a little bit more towards me so that I can slowly open up and express myself. You know, you are someone who maybe you have a more traditional mindset, okay? Possibly you have people in your life who are telling you to, you know, go out there and get someone, etc., things along the lines of that. But you're like, no, I want to have them come to me. I want them to make the first move and things along the lines of that. And so I feel like you're manifesting more so of a passive energy, the desirability factor, if that makes sense. You're trying to make sure that you're presenting yourself in a way that it makes you more approachable so that those people will come to you. Okay, if this is making sense, please let me know. So you're manifesting more so magnetism. That's the word I want to say. Getting out of this feeling that you're coming across as shy and not confident, and more so you're coming into a space where it's just like you're content. You may be a little bit mysterious. You may be a little bit more like to yourself, but at the same time, you're welcoming energy in towards you. So you're manifesting action towards you. I hope that is making sense. And I feel like you're someone who is definitely manifesting relationships. Like that to me is what I'm getting out of here. The commitment aspect is the strongest. So it's almost like you're trying to manifest romantic gestures or manifest romantic moments, or you're manifesting, you know, private, intimate moments and things along the lines of that. Manifesting moments where you have a deep committed bond, where it's something that is special and private and yours, and something that you don't necessarily have to share unless you want to share it. Jupiter in Gemini, which in Vedic astrology, Jupiter will be in Gemini, I think in May, and I think it's currently in Gemini now in Western astrology, at least at the time that I'm filming this. And from what I'm seeing with Jupiter and Gemini is it's all about trying to up-level the communication skills. And that's not just communication when it comes to I'm verbalizing something, but it's also communication when it comes to body language. So this is an interesting reading because I don't think I've ever said this before, but it's almost like you're manifesting having a more seductive body language. If that is what, that's if I'm reading this right. It's like you're manifesting how do I flirt with my eyes, or how do I flirt with my body, or how can I present myself to show that I am open and I want someone to come towards me. And I think you're able to manifest this sort of seductive like quality. I think that's what you're manifesting here. But at the same time, you want to be respected. And so it's like you're almost manifesting a new you. A you that is like, hey, I'm respectable, but at the same time, you know, more come hither vibes, right? Very interesting when it comes to your love manifestations going on here. I think there's not a lot of talking here. And I think that's the reason that my mind went towards body language. Because it's almost like you're trying to manifest a psychic mental connection. Like you want to be able to communicate without having to explicitly say your desires. It's like this, it reminds me of the scene, if you've seen the movie Anna Karenina, if I'm saying that right, where they lock eyes in the ballroom and then she looks away and then he comes after her. So something like a moment like that, you're manifesting being able to seduce without doing too much. You know what I mean? I really feel like that's coming in for you. And for those of you who are in a relationship, it's almost like you're manifesting the ability to understand your partner without a lot of verbal communication. You understand their habits, you understand their moods, you understand their routine, and because of that, you know them. It's like you know them on an intrinsic level, on a spiritual level. You know them through their actions. You know them by their habits. You know, it's just like a very sensual, spiritual vibe coming on here. Another thing that you're manifesting is support and care. Like you're manifesting a partner that will care for you and will fight for you and is 100% totally committed. And they may understand that you're not someone who always expresses themselves as openly as maybe you could. And it's almost like you're manifesting acceptance in a way. For some of you, this is possibly a community of people who may be in similar love situations as you, or they've had similar love situations, and so you have that ability to talk about those moments. And I know this is more so like manifesting in love, but definitely there's this community aspect to this where it's like you are being brought into this circle of people who've had similar experiences. I feel like there's more spiritual moments coming, not just with this group that I think some of you are persons. Usually the Hierophant is going to represent a group, but it's not just that. But within a relationship, I feel like some of you are manifesting more spiritual connections within your partnership. And I feel like maybe even some spiritual people coming towards you. Very more so like deep, fulfilling moments. Moments that they're fun. They're laughable and fun, but there's an element of seriousness to it because we have that Hierophant card coming up first. And the Hierophant, when we're talking about what we're manifesting in love, it's the marriage card. It's like the officiator of, you know, churches, commitment, things along the lines of that. Like this is an official ceremony, right? And so there is a lot of self-love here. I know we're talking about love manifestations, and my focus was mainly, or at least my primary focus was mainly romantic, but to me there is a lot of self-love coming, and then there's also a lot of people coming together that are like-minded, that are sharing similar love experiences. And then there's also this spiritual connection that you are manifesting within the people you date, the relationships you keep, in your current relationship. There's this sense of strong protection, maybe even spiritual protection, where you've kind of cast this evil eye on your relationship, meaning like a protective evil eye, so that intruders can't get in or no negativity is coming through. It's like you're protecting that energy. A lot of protecting your peace here and fighting for it. Venus is known as like the peacemaker card, but if you study astrology, Venus is one fierce warrior, okay? Venus is a card where if somebody's very Venusian, I wouldn't mess with them. They'll beat you up, okay? A lot of Venusian people can throw hands, okay? I can assure you. Let me say that again. So I feel like there's a lot, you're manifesting protection from your relationship, protection from the opinions, protection from people trying to enter your relationship and saying, I'm not going to allow you to mess with this piece. And at the same time, I am going to allow myself to have these moments of doubt, but I'm going to recognize that I'm safe here and I don't have to always run and hide. I can stand in the things that I feel aligns the best with me. Meaning like I can say, hey, this is the person for me and I don't have to listen to you, and I can feel strong in that. But this is about restricting access to your personal life, more privacy, less opinions. There's a lot going on here. And I feel like all of this is coming together to ultimately just bring you more peace, more sanctuary, a time where you are sort of just taking more control about your love life. I hope that resonates with you, pal number 4. You know, if not, feel free to choose a new pal or a new reader. Either way, I'm very happy you stopped by. Don't forget, I post every Thursday. That's right. If you want another reading, just come back Thursday and I'll be there. And I go live on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And that time will be posted on the community tab. So if you want to ask me a question, join the live sessions. I would love to see you there. But like I said, if this doesn't resonate, feel free to choose a new pal, and I will see you next time. Au revoir. Hey pal, number 5. Let's find out what love manifestation is on its way to you fast. We have the World. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Chariot. Love to see it. We have the Four of Cups. And we have Justice. Very interesting. So the World card to me, when it comes to love manifestations, it's almost like everything you hoped and ever dreamed of coming to, especially since we have the Chariot right there, you know, supporting this foundation. Okay, so it's very interesting. Don't know what you have been thinking about, but maybe you felt like you want a different type of relationship, or even just to meet someone, period. Well, that opportunity is coming along. But this Four of Cups here, maybe you might be, what's the word? A little bit focused more so on achieving some of your goals. And I'm not going to say you'll miss it or anything like that, but it may have been like waving in front of you for quite a while is kind of what I'm getting from this, or it will be, and maybe you just won't get it at first. But I will say this, anything for you is not something that you will miss. And be on the lookout for potential romance and things on the lines of that, because the cards are definitely emphasizing that something is coming along that is going to be quite beautiful, and you'll be able to form a pleasant union with this person, a very welcoming union, possibly new love on the horizon. It's not giving like reunion. This is generally like a new person, Perhaps maybe even someone coming forth with a confession, only because we have the Queen of Swords. But, you know, I'm going to say that's maybe for like 20% of you guys, just based on the surrounding cards. It's an also meet. This was the first thing I thought of when I saw these cards, is either A, if you're with someone, this is you guys going on some sort of romantic trip together. Maybe you've always wanted to do that. Maybe you wanted to always go, you know, overseas and travel together and say, hey, I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Greece. I want to go to Kenya. I want to go to, why can't I think of another country? I want to go to Taiwan. Whatever the case may be, you just wanted to travel with your significant other. That opportunity is more than likely coming along. Maybe more of an idea from you than them. If we have this Four of Cups here, that might be them sort of like dragging their feet and things along the lines of that. But that opportunity does seem to be coming. The second thing this made me think of is that this is like you possibly meeting someone on your travels. You know, just a love affair while you are traveling abroad and doing your thing. And doesn't have to be abroad. I mean, it could be within the same country, but these cards do present traveling. And the only reason I said abroad is because we have the World card here. The World card can represent long, very, very long travels. All right, just saying that. But it doesn't have to be. You know, you could be traveling throughout your homeland. You can go to, like in America, we have different states. Certain places have different providences. So you can go to something like that and it's like, okay, I met someone on my little travels there. And that is possibly something that is coming up for you. I will say that with the Queen of Swords here, it does represent being a little bit like guarded when it comes to meeting this person. The Queen of Swords is not a very open person. You know, she's very protective, rightfully so. She's smart, right? She knows she can't just tell everybody everything about her, or every feeling or thought she has. She has to be wise with her words, right? And so it shows that when you meet this person, you'll sort of be imitating this Queen of Swords type of feel. Or maybe that's just who you naturally are. And you'll maybe take your time when it comes to the opening up. Or maybe it is that you're focused on something else, because something in these cards, they kind of say that you're not going to quite get it right away. You're not exactly going to register that maybe this person is flirting with you, that they're interested, or that there's this new person coming along. And that's for the ones who are single. For those of you in a relationship, it's just a little bit of your partner dragging their feet and things along the lines of that when it comes to this sort of travel scenario that is going on. I do see that it just feels like there's opportunities to be more in alignment that are coming, that the communication improves, that the emotional support improves, because the Chariot is connected to Cancer. And it's more so like, it's more so about intimacy and one-on-one connection. So maybe you have been looking maybe for some private time with the person that you have been in a relationship, private quality time, and that would be something that would be coming up for you. I know some people, they have kids, it's hard to connect in that romantic way, or maybe they're just busy with other things and, you know, they're not spending as much time with their partner as they would like. And now that time is coming up where you guys will actually have moments where you can be together. If you're single, well, this can represent like finding someone solid who you can rely on, and almost like they're waking you up out of this state of dissatisfaction, especially with the Four of Cups here. It's like you're moving out of this place where you feel like there's nobody you're interested in, there's no options, no real options for you, and you can find someone who you're like, oh wait, I think this is my person, or this is someone I really, really believe that we could potentially have something. We could have a deeper connection. This can represent relationships evolving or going to the next level. Before the World card, there's Judgment. And Judgment is all about sort of letting go of the past and cleansing yourself and just getting rid of all of the baggage that you may have been carrying around. And the World card can represent this fresh new start when it comes to love, connection, and romance. You finally gotten to the place where you're ready to even get out there again for those who are single. And so this love manifestation represents coming out of your singledom and actually making moves towards connection and partnership. And that's definitely coming for a lot of you. And it's not like for some of you, it's not like you haven't had opportunities. It's more so you may not have even been ready for some of you. But now is a time where you're manifesting your readiness and your ability to form connection with others. It's almost like, because we have Justice card here, the scales are balancing. Like you've been in one space for too long, and now it's time to sort of shift to the other stage so that you can have a more balanced life. So that you aren't the center of your world all the time, that you can have someone else in it, and there's more balance. So overall, this can represent just having more balance within your love life by A, spending more time with your partner and things along the lines of that, or B, actually having a love life. For some of you. But I really do feel like this spread is about getting out of this passive state and moving to the next stage. Maybe meeting someone unexpected. That's possible. It's possible. I'm not going to say that that's the overall theme for this spread. But I really think that it's like definitely coming out of this place where you're like, I just need something different. I need something new. Where you can open up your heart more. Where you feel like you have healthy communication. Where your soul feels connected to someone. Where you feel seen and valued. And you're growing together spiritually. But it is a new stage in your life. There is a new moment you're climbing to. Because we have the World card, so that represents endings. And not only that, but you're being smart about who you're letting in and who you're choosing. And so you're making wise decisions when it comes to love and partnership and connection. It's like you're taking control of your love life. Like you're not letting things pass you by or let things happen to you. You're taking charge. So it's like you're manifesting confidence. You're manifesting going out there and getting what you want. You're manifesting having the type of experiences that you so desire. If you want romantic experiences, you're making sure that you're connecting with someone who has those ideas. You're not giving the people who simply just want to date you the time of day. You're only focusing on those who pique your interest. It has to be mutual. It has to be balanced. Maybe that's what this balance card is about. This Justice card. You're only concentrating on those who you feel, I like this person equally as much as they like me. It doesn't have to be this one person giving me all the attention or I'm giving them more attention. It's just very balanced. So I see that coming in for when your love life. But that is what I have for you, pile number 5. Hopefully this resonates. If not, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Or maybe you could choose a new reader. Either way, I'm very happy you stopped by. I post a video every Thursday and I go live on the weekends. That's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. The time is posted on the community tab. So if you want to ask me a question, come join the live sessions. And I hope to see you there. And until next time, au revoir.